Where this story started was each of you in very different backgrounds. In the case of James Wright, a researcher that was on that seemed to be blacklisted after his lab was the location of the first successful teleportation gate, this portal that was opened, allowing for instantaneous travel between two gate points. And that was a huge development. There was a significant amount of artificial intelligence or very sophisticated software that perhaps is sentient, hard to say, that was behind the development of new fields of math that allow for this instantaneous transport. And that, along with other advances in machine learning, has, in this near future setting, disrupted a lot of things. Certainly the portal system is a game changer. By having these gates open, there's all sorts of transportation industries have been completely changed. Where you are now, you're in New York City. You've been tasked to be part of the New York Transit Authority, which with a special commission to look after the security of these gates and any issues that may arise from the use of gates. The gates themselves have been installed and implemented by both public and private interests. So there are such things as private companies that set up gates. The very affluent have already exploited this gate or portal technology to build lavish homes where they have instantaneous teleportation essentially, or instantaneous movement from a house that's got rooms on different continents. There's now gates that connect the moon to the Earth, and there's a mission that's now setting up a gate on Mars, which will allow instantaneous transportation between that. There's utilities that have now set up solar collection facilities and other electricity gathering efforts that are using off-planet locations and then gates to get that power over down to planet side. So that's a huge revolutionary thing. James, so this is James Wright, played by Boston John. He was there when this started and has a lot of questions about what happened exactly with that, and why is it that the researchers that were involved have disappeared, or in not every case, and there's been some that have taken credit, but James himself and others found themselves very much on the outside, and there's some questions about what's going on with that, and do we really even understand this technology? Switching over to Ken's story so far. Ken was active duty U.S. Ranger, I believe, Army Ranger. A non-commissioned officer, so had some men under his command. A decorated soldier, originally from New York City, with some street smarts and some background that allowed him to have some, I would say, some contacts in the less than legal sectors of New York City life. But he was a decorated soldier and served honorably. He was still active duty when he received a mysterious order that he is to report to New York City, where he's going to join essentially traffic cops, but the New York City Transport Authority, and he was to report back on what's going on at the Transport Authority. There were some questions about the orders that were received by Sergeant Mason Collins. The orders were signed, but not by someone that he recognized. And then when he arrived, he noticed immediately that there were others that were very keen on what Mason Collins was doing and tracked his movements and that sort of thing. That leads us to the perhaps one of the more unusual members of the cast, played by Mr. Ken, and that's Spencer. Spencer is a young man of Indian descent, and he was part of a very illegal experimentation program run by a less than savory outfit that was attempting to meld the latest in artificial intelligence into the minds of the still developing minds of children. He is one of the very few survivors of that program, and has since used what has turned out to be one of the very few successful hybrids of this technology and biology to carve out a rather comfortable living as a what should we call you, Ken? An advanced hacker of sorts?
Yeah,
a somewhat ethical hacker. And he was quite interested to see what happened with those researchers that were responsible for what happened to him and the others that didn't survive this very unethical experimentation that took place a few years ago. And so he has found his way to New York City. Of course, the advent of this portal technology has spread rapidly around the globe. For obvious reasons, the transatlantic passage now is just a matter of stepping over a threshold. There's no wait time whatsoever, allowing for more free movement of peoples. And so he's in New York City, and he has something in his head. This is the personality of this artificial intelligence that although it's taxing for him physically, is able to communicate with him in his head. And all three of you now have met and are loosely associated with in the case of Spencer, officially associated with, in the case of both James and Mason, with the New York Transit Authority. Now, let's talk just a little bit over what's happened since you've arrived at this New York City Transit Authority situation. You have discovered that there is someone or some entity or someone that some groups or agencies or someone that's tampering with the portals. There also appears to be an effort to tie portals which are really safe, and there really haven't been too many instances of people arriving on the other side of a portal all scrambled or what have you. And because they've been so revolutionary and seen as so safe, they're very popular. But now there's these questions over, like there was one, a splatter of a significant amount of blood around a portal. There were some questions about if there was some tampering with the actual circuitry on these portals. How that's accomplished hasn't been answered yet because of the security systems around the portals and how they're opened. It would suggest to you that it's very, very difficult. It wouldn't be some low-level criminal that could handle that. And what else? What am I missing? That's it. That we've discovered that so far. That there's been a move by organized crime. But that organized crime seemed to be hired by someone else. And in our last session, this is something that Spencer hasn't really got yet. Now, Spencer, you've had some information that you collected and that your alter ego has been working on to decipher, decrypt, and comb over. And he found something, he said, that was interesting. That just happened at the end of our last session. In the case of James and Mason, you had a situation where Mason being captured and interrogated by these shadowy people. Turns out that they're definitely part of the mob in New York City. They're also, though, not just the mob, but there was a question of the mob is acting as subcontractors by something more official.
Yeah. And then I witnessed that there was something taken as well, wasn't there?
Yes.
Like a drive.
Yeah, there was a drive taken. There was some logic boards that were tampered with.
But
There was
also,
a
every
drive.
evidence that we had was taken too, right?
Yeah,
So we don't have it anymore because it was taken from us.
that's right. So anything else in that? Okay, so
And I've been contacted by Old Technology
yes.
with warnings and places to go. And
That's right. That's a really important. I'm glad you brought that up, Ken. There's been an ongoing communication to not just the three of you, but also, do you remember Jessica? Jessica,
yes,
your contact at the New York Transit Authority. She's been receiving aid from unknown sources, helping her, just giving her, putting her in the right place at the right time, and that. So there's just some questions as to who's what. Like where are we could identify the bad guys, but we're not quite sure who they are really, what their goals are. That has not been discovered as of right now. There has been a fairly significant development with James Wright communicating with the whatever the systems are that run the sanitary trucks, the automated street sweepers and cleaners. They have provided some help as he was escaping the smash and grab that captured Spencer. So there's something else going, and something that seems to be tied somewhat to these automated systems that run the day-to-day functions of the city. So with that, any comments before we get into? I know that's kind of a long, as a brief recap. That's pretty lengthy. But is there anything? Is there anything else that I've missed that is important, germane to what the situation is right now? Mason, yeah.
Probably us noticing me noticing the like gangsters, the well-dressed mafia guys that are walking around always seem to be in stuff. That seem to be part of what's going on, as well as very expensive tech and very, very expensive vehicles that seem to be part of the getaway or the assaults on us.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Anything from you, Boston John? Anything else that stood out to you?
I don't think so, other than we're in the dark.
Other than you are in the dark, yes. Yeah, and then Mr. Ken, anything that Spencer? Well, there was some goals I want to go over. One of the goals that Spencer has is to find the researcher, one of the ladies that was involved in this. One of the goals.
Now, did I notice the picture in James's house?
Yes, there's a picture that James had, because James had one of those the conspiracy theory walls where like the red thread all over the place and headlines and hard printed things. And in one of those pictures, there is a picture of him and his research assistant, and the research assistant that James had, it looks very familiar. She looks very familiar to Spencer. In fact, it is that same woman that was involved in the nefarious activities back in India. She's there in that picture with James as his assistant. And what was her name, James? Do you remember? Raj. That's her name. Raj. R-A-G-A.
Yeah, I was just looking it up.
Now, James, his goal, he wants really to figure out what's going on. James, do you have anything more in particular to add to that in terms of goals?
Actually, I was looking forward to be honest.
Yeah. So you're both,
because she
that
was an
goal
assistant
seems to
for
align.
years, and then all of a sudden, when I got blacklisted, we were forced to go our separate ways and lost contact. And yeah, I've been looking forward to.
Okay, excellent.
We have a kind of a common goal there.
Whether
we both know it or not.
The person with the most contacts in the city is definitely Mason. One of his contacts goes back to his time as part of his buddies that had a gang of sorts, the 47th Street Regulators, and so Mason has a lot of local contacts that he can use. One of them was a gentleman named Scooter. Scooter's a bike courier with the 47th Street Regulators. There is more of a small town outfit, but he still has contacts there, so it's important to remember that, and perhaps it'll be of interest this particular session. So with that, we're ready to begin.
Perfect.
Spencer is jostled around. It's dark. There's something covering your face. You're shoved into the back of a vehicle. The vehicle accelerates away. It takes a number of quick turns, quickly disorienting you. There's someone heavy with lots of sharp points on him, indicating gear, that's sitting on you as the vehicle you're in races through the streets of New York City at night.
Well, I am. No, let me see here. I am trying to determine which directions and how many turns we're taking to kind of calculate whereabouts I am.
Roll notice. You're okay for the first couple blocks, but it is a failure. Please describe it.
Well, with the first few turns, they turn so sharply that I bang my head up against the side of what I assume is the wheel well and get disoriented.
As your head rings slightly, you can hear a conversation coming from the vehicle. It's impossible to tell front, behind. The conversation, you only hear one side of it. It's on a cell phone of some kind, of communication device. They're speaking. It's not a pure military speak. It's more informal than that. One says, "We got him. We got one of them." The other one's evaded us for now, but we're on it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. I'll call back. No, we're about 2 minutes out. Okay. And then the conversation ends. 2 minutes later, the vehicle comes to a screeching halt, then moves a few moments later. You can hear a garage gate opening, and then the vehicle accelerates down. The wheels squeal as you're going around. You can tell now that you're in a parkade of some kind, because of the tight spiral down and the squealing tires on the painted concrete. As you spiral down there and the squealing tires, eventually the vehicle stops. As it stops, rough hands grab Spencer, still hooded, unable to see your surroundings. You're dragged from the vehicle and into a building. You can smell the building has that institutional type or an office type smell. Eventually, you're sat on a metal chair, your hands bound to a table in front of you, and the hood is drawn violently up from your head. You're in a featureless room. This room has a metal table in front of it. The walls are all masonry, and there's a small camera up in the top right corner, little red light on it, and then a metal door with a window in the door. Across from you is a masked individual. He's wearing a combat helmet of some kind, black armor. He's got big, thick forearms. He easily outmasses you. He's the one that's holding the hood in his hand.
Okay. Well, I am quiet, but my AI says to me, "Don't worry, Spencer. We've been through a lot worse. Let me check to see if I can see where this network is going."
Go ahead and roll. Marcus takes a moment. We're in a closed network. I've infiltrated via the camera, but it's not connected. Wherever we've been taken is a secure facility. However, I think it's... I'll get back to you, he says. If you can, Marcus tells you, get something to eat. Your blood sugar dangerously low. Spencer.
Sir, can I at least get us something to drink or a little bit of food? I'm just starving.
He doesn't say anything back to you. He instead walks over to the door, bangs on it twice. The door opens. He leaves. Another individual comes in. The last person you expected to see as Raj enters the room. Her East Indian features instantly familiar to you. She says, "Hello, Spencer."
Hello, Raj.
Seems it's been a while. You've been up to a lot.
Well, I'd never expected to see you again. If I had the chance, I wouldn't have seen you.
That hurts me, Raj says. She approaches you, standing opposite of the metal table where your hands are chained to a little loop in the center of the table. She says, "This is quite fortuitous. You see, we need what's in your head."
Well, I've kind of become attached to it, and I don't know if I'd survive without it.
"Well, we can always hope," she says. And then two other men enter, the same ones that are wearing armor, and one of them grabs you roughly by the side of the head, tilts your head over. You feel a sharp prick of pain as some tranquilizer or some needle is plunged into your neck, and you lose consciousness. Yes.
Yes. I do not say anything.
When you next wake up, you're in a surgical room. You have that bright surgical lights shining down on you as your eyes flicker open. You have no sensation of anything, but your eyes are open and you can see around. You can't move your head. Something immobilized your head. There's some, you see Raj, you recognize Raj as she peers over you, looking down. You can see her features underneath a surgical mask. She says, "Well, I'm going to try my best to not cause any permanent damage, but you see, you have a chip in your head that we really need right now. And unfortunately, you do have to be conscious for this." You can see there's others moving around. There's a table that's put off just to your periphery. You can see a number of surgical implements laid out on a green cloth. This all seems eerily familiar to you.
Well, if I have consciousness, I am going to try to. Are you there, Hector? Or what was the again? Sorry,
Marcus. My name is
Marcus.
Marcus.
Thank you.
This is
It's been
bad.
so long. Marcus.
Yes, what can I do?
If you're there,
I'm here.
this is our last chance. They're going to separate us.
I'd rather that not happen. I'm fairly fond of you. You're the only meatbag that I've ever known. What can I do? It seems like you've got no movement at all.
I can't move at all. We need to access some sort of network or fire alarm or something to stop the procedure for now.
Okay. What would you have me do?
Shut down the power even if it hurts me. Use all the power you can.
All right. This is probably going to take a few years off your life. Go ahead and make your check. You are certainly out of character, but you are certainly allowed to use benefits on skill checks.
Oh yeah. Let's Benny that one.
Though you feel suddenly starved and you're thinned out, there's two things that happen at once. All the lights all go out in the surgical room. And then someone's phone in the room starts ringing, which causes an odd reaction from Raj. Who brought a phone in here? I was very specific. There's to be no outside communications. That phone rings, and the person picks it up. I'm sorry, Dr. Raj. I'm sorry. Somebody see what's going on with the power. We need that power back immediately. I can't do work in the dark. There's just an emergency light on in the room now. There's a flurry of activity. But it was so taxing for Spencer that he loses consciousness again. His eyes too heavy. We'll switch now to James, standing at the back of an open trunk of a long body, expensive Mercedes in the dark of the New York City night. There's a transport, not transport, a street cleaning, an automated street cleaning truck that has smashed into the front of this Mercedes. An amber light spins around on the top of the cleaning truck. That's the only light really that you have in the immediate vicinity. James feels the barrel of a gun pressing into the back of his head as the driver of the Mercedes has come up behind him. In the trunk of this Mercedes is the bloody, though conscious form of Mason Collins. Through gritted teeth, a voice speaks to James from behind as the barrel presses into the back of his head. Who are you?
None of your concern.
Speak now.
I'm not a threat. I saw this accident. I was coming over to see what was going on.
You just walk around with a submachine gun on your hip?
Yep.
You smell like a Fed.
This is
to
New
me.
York.
You smell like a Fed. You
I'll
can
put my
hear the hammer of this pistol, kind of click back as he's racked around in the slide, and he's there holding it.
All right, hold on. I put my hands up. Then I'm going to turn around slowly. And then I bump the back of the car with the gun on my hip. And I said, there's no need for that. I got
Mason,
my hands up. I'm not a threat.
You now looking at this guy, he's got a nasty cut on his forehead from the accident that just happened as the speeding Mercedes ran into this street cleaner that was on the wrong. It's an automated one. It's controlled by the one of the many city automated systems, and it was so the whole front of the car is just damaged. The airbags have gone off. He's got a nasty cut, as I mentioned. It's pouring blood onto what looks like a very expensive tailored suit. A shiny H&K 45 looms large right in your vision. He's pointing it. He's just inches away from your forehead. Mason.
I think what's probably best for you is if you take your stuff and head on out of here. I don't think if you make it back to your boss, they're going to let you live.
He looks past, keeping his gun right in James's face. He looks past you. You still alive? Well, you're tougher than I thought. He moves the gun slightly down to the side and then there's this flash of light as he fires into the trunk.
Am I supposed to make up where he hits me?
We'll see if he hits first.
Okay. Looks like a pretty good shot.
It blasts into you. However, only 8 to your toughness.
I've got 5.
Remember, you have the option with in Savage Worlds to soak damage.
I'll do that.
I'm gonna run. Hello, there's no need for that. What's going on? And I wiggle my hip with the gun on my hip,
Okay.
ever so slightly.
Okay.
I will
You're-
jump. I
Okay.
will jump up, just getting shot, kind of jump out and reach over to grab the gun as, the hints happen a couple times. Jump out, grab the gun, and immediately turn and pull.
Okay. Go ahead and make your shooting check. It's close range, very close range. May need to use another benefit on that.
Let's do it.
The gun goes off. Go ahead and roll damage on that. Submachine gun damage is going to be... Ooh. The round hits. As it hits, it does some damage. The 9mm round piercing into this guy. He stumbles back a couple steps, and then James has a chance to act.
I'm gonna reach for the gun, his gun.
Okay.
It's gonna have to be an unskilled, I think.
Go ahead and make a fighting check. Or agility
Or
if you
strength?
want. Yep.
Oh, agility. Okay.
Yeah. Roll agility. Ooh. He attempts to pull as you reach for his gun. He tries to get it out of your grasp. You easily snatch the gun away from him. His hand falls to his side where blood is seeping out of his expensive tailored suit.
Okay, I'll point the gun at him. I'll just point at him. I don't have any intention of shooting him, but I'll just make sure he doesn't do anything.
He raises one hand, steps back another step. Mason.
I crawl out of the trunk and kind of position myself to sit on it. The bullet came. I'm gonna say the bullet came and hit my leg, so I have a hard time standing. So I'm just kind of gonna lean against the trunk of the car, and I'll say, James, do you mind taking this off, and I'll hang on to this SMG for right now.
Yep, I'll give it to you.
All right.
Swing it.
I'll take it and point it at the guy and say, well, I guess you're not going anywhere. Why don't you tell me about who told you to kidnap us? What was that guy's name that I was talking to while you were torturing me?
He goes, I'm no rat, he says, giving away some information immediately. I ain't no rat. Shoot me if you have to. I don't count on me to be your stool pigeon.
I'm gonna aim for his feet, and I'm gonna take a shot. We'll take a shot at his feet.
Oof. Hit with a raise.
Pretty good shot. You rolled 2d6 for that.
Yeah, it's 2d6.
So is that 3d6 now?
It is,
What's
sir.
the raise?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Ooh. He howls in pain, falls to the ground, clutching at the shattered shin as the bullet has gone through his shin bone and shattered it. He howls in pain. All right.
We can take you to get some medical attention, but I'd suggest you start talking first.
He glares up at you. James.
We might as well just leave this guy. We got to go and find Spencer.
James,
They
your
got him, I
phone
think.
rings.
Hello?
It's Spencer's
shoot.
voice on the other
Before I
end.
answered, I recognize. Oh, okay.
It's a number you do not recognize.
Okay.
It's
I'll answer it
Spencer's
anyway.
voice on the other end. But the voice says, I'm not Spencer. Spencer has been captured. I am sending you the GPS of this phone. You need to come immediately. Spencer is in grave danger.
Understood. So I'll make a note of it, and then I'll tell Mason.
There's a GPS pin that's dropped on your phone. When you look at it, you immediately recognize it. It's the same building where the New York Transit Authority is located.
Well, I know where we're going. That's where we should head.
We've got a couple of minutes before we have to leave. Mason gets up and kind of shuffles over to the other guy, limping along the way, and he hits him with the butt of the gun, butt of the MP5, and says, "It's about time you start talking, or this is going to end real quick."
He looks pain torturing his face. His face is all twisted in pain as he's clutching at his wounds. He's been shot twice now, and plus he's just in a serious accident. You can see his resolve start to crumble. Go ahead and make an intimidation check for me. Or in your case, persuasion.
Okay.
It's only a 23, which means a success with several raises.
On a natural one, too. Yeesh.
He crumbles, his resolve given up. Call me an ambulance. I'll tell you everything I know. But if anybody asks, you didn't get it from me.
We'll just make it quick.
He reaches into his pocket slowly as he's watching the barrel of that SMG that is hovering dangerously close. He produces a cell phone and he passes it over.
I'll grab it and then I'll immediately look at it to check if it's unlocked.
It is not unlocked.
What's the password?
Oh, he says, right. Password is Little Italy 41.
Okay. Mason types it in just to check.
Sure enough, you have full call logs on the phone. He then says, we've been hired. Some government types. They got something big planned for tomorrow. You're supposed to keep everything under wraps. We got word that there were three individuals that were poking around. We're supposed to keep you out of the way until it all goes down.
Who was the guy talking to me right before you tortured me?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Well, his name is Leonardo, but we all call him Fingers. You don't mess with Fingers, man.
Take it that's because he likes to break fingers?
Yeah. Well, he likes smoking those nasty cigarellos. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Doesn't like the cigars, but he still keeps a cigar cutter on hand, if you know what I mean. Coughs up some blood. How about that ambulance?
We'll call one on the way.
Well,
We'll come get you, don't worry.
While this is going on, I'm going to check
He
my phone for the
smiles.
closest gate.
Blood kind of stains his teeth. He goes,
Ah, nah, it's not going to get here in time. Oh, well. Beware. These agents, they can't be trusted. I should have just stayed. We shouldn't have taken that job. I told them it was a bad idea.
I will go and check his pockets, check for his wallet.
Yep. He doesn't offer any resistance. His breathing's coming more ragged. You find a gold money clip with a number of $100 bills rolled up in it. A small bag of white powder, probably a bump of cocaine.
Throw that aside. Does he have a wallet on him?
He just had a cash fold.
Okay.
No driver's license.
That's only money in it.
Exciting. Just money.
Okay.
Large bills. James, there is a portal about a half a block away.
All right. We'll head there once Mason is done with his interrogation.
I start looking around to see if there's a knife or something in the cab of the vehicle. I'm assuming there's going to be something sharp, so I'll find something. Maybe cut the seatbelt, one of the seatbelts, and kind of wrap around my leg to.
Just take the guy's belt.
Oh, like a tourniquet.
Tourniquet, yeah.
Go ahead and make a. It is as you say. As you do that, James, and you, after you've bound up your wound more or less as best you can, make your way half a block towards a active portal. This is one of the portals. As you get closer to it, James, this portal connects to one of the central hubs of the New York portal system. That'll actually bring you close to the Central Park hub, which from there, you're only one portal away from the transit authority or government buildings.
Okay. We'll make haste as fast as we can.
As you say.
I'll help Mason along because he's probably hobbling a little bit. So.
A few minutes, just a short walk later, and then a couple quick transits through portals, you're in front of the New York Transit Authority building.
Now the question is, how do we find him? Because we can go in and ask.
Spencer, you're awake again, briefly. Marcus says, your friends are coming. I was able to get a message out to them. We need to buy them some time.
Perfect.
My link to the outside has been severed again.
Let me see if I can move any of my body.
Make an athletics check. Or a strength check.
Oh, it's what's going to be better. They're both the same.
In the sudden power outage, a sharp scalpel was dropped or left just within reach of your right hand.
Well, I slowly try to draw it into my hand. Oh, looks like I've got a hold of it. Now I'm going to try to contort my hand not to cut myself, but to cut the restraints off my one hand.
The canvas restraints on your hand. You can feel the scalpel, the razor sharp, as it cuts easily through the canvas, cutting through the last of the canvas just as the lights turn back on.
I freeze and keep my hand still, but hold on to the scalpel.
Raj is not in the room. She's gone to go see what else is going on. There's two others wearing scrubs in the room. As you look around, there's also one armored man in the room. Black visored helmet. He's just off to the corner.
I start shaking like I'm going into a seizure.
One of the orderlies said, well, he's in shock. Something's happened. The orderly rushes over to your side, to your right side. The other one calls the soldier to come. Quick, help us hold him down. Hold him by the shoulders. The soldier's gloved hands land on your shoulders, an orderly on the left and an orderly on the right. Then the orderly that's on your left says, I'll go get Dr. Raj. He leaves. There's 2 left with you.
I struggle more on the side that I'm free of, trying to get the armored guy to stand beside me, hoping that he would put his leg or artery close so I can sever it.
There's he moves again, trying to keep you down. Make a strength check for me, Spencer, as you're doing this. You move. He's much stronger than you are. He holds you firmly in place. We'll transition now. Here we go. But his gloved hand slips. As it slips off, he suddenly loses balance. His neck drops right next to your face. As he was putting his weight on top of your shoulders. He slips off.
As I look into his eyes, I kind of smile, bringing the freed hand up and try to cut his neck artery.
Fighting check for me, please. Yes, success. The scalpel, razor sharp, cuts through the side of his neck. He, as blood fountains around it, go ahead and roll damage for me. This will be your strength plus the scalpel, which will be a D4.
So 2d4, I guess.
Yes, please.
And yeah, 4.
His gloved hand immediately grabs for his neck as blood starts welling under his fingers. The orderly that the other orderly is alarmed. He takes a few steps back, giving you a little more range of motion. At that time, there's a crash somewhere in the building. We transition to outside. A parking meter automated vehicle has accelerated just past James and Mason as you're just stepping through the portal. It careens over the sidewalk, onto the sidewalk from the road, and crashes into the front door of the large building of the New York Transit Authority, smashing its way through the glass and creating a huge mess. This was an automated vehicle. Something has tampered with its safety protocols that it is smashed into the building. As that happens, the building, you can see flashing lights like the emergency lights go on in the lobby of this building. And those emergency lights show you there's 2 armed men that were hiding just outside of the building. Their backs turned to Mason and James as they look after this odd meter-made vehicle, which is just smashed into the lobby of the building. James.
Well, I don't think we should go to we shouldn't go through the front door. We should find a side door or something. If that's a distraction, I would think.
Mason.
I don't know. That might be the most direct way in. Does that thing say where? Did that thing say where he's in the building?
No, just in the building. Not sure.
We might be best going and putting some pressure on our boss.
Well, we can go through the front. Actually, we'll go to the front where the vehicle went through the front, and maybe the vehicle can tell us where he is. Don't ask me why, but maybe.
Sure.
All right, we should. I'll run up ahead because he's kind of.
As you run, the 2 individuals that were looking into the building after this turn around. James, you recognize the same kind of equipment of the individuals that were chasing you.
Okay.
Both are armed. One of them holds up his hand to you as you're running towards him. Stop right there,
Okay.
Mason.
I stop.
Mason keeps limping over behind him. He says, "Show us a badge. Make sure we know you're supposed to be here."
The other
As
one,
I'm limping over, wearing what I assume is still a hospital gown.
Probably, yeah.
as you limp over, the other one says something. And he says, "We got the other two. They're outside. They're right here. No, it's them." He raises a short-barreled rifle to you and then points his rifle right at the hospital-gowned Mason as he's limping forward, a bloody mess, and James Wright walking forward as well.
Okay, I'm not going to. I am taking the gun that I got off the other guy, and I'm going to shoot that guy. I didn't get time for this.
It's a hit with a raise.
What kind of gun was it? Maybe I can just use mine.
So 45, 2d6 plus 1. With a raise, 3d6 plus 1. The 45 goes off with a loud punching sound.
So 3d6.
Roll the 6 again. That's 15 plus 1, 16 points of damage. His head rocks back. The round has shattered his black visor, and he drops. As he drops, the one that had his rifle up starts shooting. He shoots at James. Ooh, describe my miss.
Shot just went wide, hit a light pole or something.
Mason.
Yeah, it just shot wide.
Mason returns fire.
That's a hit with a raise.
Perfect. So aiming dead mass.
8
Shoots at him
damage.
straight in the chest.
He stumbles back, but he's not out of the fight yet. James.
I will shoot him. No, I'm not going to. I am.
That's a hit, no raise. (2d6 plus 1).
Oh, plus 1. Okay, so it'll be 5.
The round, okay, so this does not beat his toughness.
Okay.
The round, you describe.
I hit him in the chest, but it hit his armor. It didn't
Okay.
penetrate.
He stumbles back. His free hand. So he's got in his dominant hand, he has his short barrel rifle. In his other hand, you can see he's talking into his wrist. Because we got contact front. Send, require assistance. He's using verbiage that Mason immediately recognizes as government trained. He then fires off a quick shot. This is also at James. James, it's a hit with a raise. And one more. Excuse me. That's a total of 9 to your toughness.
Yep. Hit.
So this would be shaken.
Oh, shake. Okay.
Right? It's not 4 above your toughness? No, it's not.
No,
I'm
it's
just looking
2.
at it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mason.
Mason I keep lumbering towards him. Yeah, I take another shot at him.
Failure.
I will Benny that.
It's a hit. No raise. Ooh, roll that 6 again. Okay. So that's a 15 damage. It was 2d6, one exploding dice plus 1. That round shatters his weakened and damaged chest plate. He falls lifeless on the ground. Spencer, struggling in the basement of some building, which you're not completely aware. There's an orderly backing away in horror. There's a soldier that's clutching a neck wound that's pouring blood. You have one arm free.
As I roll to my side to free my other arm, I quickly sever the canvas on my left side and then work towards my legs to free my legs.
Raj opens the door. "What's going on here?" she says. The orderly stumbles back further. The soldier's, with one hand on his neck, is now reaching for a chest holster for a sidearm. Raj says, "Wait, we need him alive." Spencer.
If you need me alive, then back away as I put the scalpel close to my neck.
She immediately puts her hands up. Spencer, listen. There's more things going on here than you know. There's a silent coup happening. I know it looks like we're the bad guys. We're not the bad guys. Don't do anything rash.
Well, then help me get me out of this restraints.
She pauses for a moment, then looks over at the orderly and nods. The orderly comes over and unstraps the canvas restraints on your ankles. You're now free.
As I stepped down to the floor, I buckled to one knee, carefully not to nick my own artery. I need some food.
Of course, that would make sense. Well, we can get all of that. Just don't do anything. I tell you, we're trying to stop a catastrophe here.
Then why can't I just help you instead of trying to kill me?
Time is of the essence. I didn't have time to explain.
Well, you got time now.
She seems reluctant for some reason. There's shouting coming from the hallway behind her. We'll switch over to James and Mason, now in the lobby of this building, or just outside the lobby, where you had the confrontation with this brief firefight with two armed and armored men.
I'm gonna grab.
James, grab his gun. I'll grab this guy's gun.
That's what I was gonna do. Yep.
It's kind of let go of the SMG, and you said it was a short barrel rifle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I'll grab and I'll walk with.
It's familiar to you. This is like an M4 A1 Block 2. It's set up. It seems very familiar to you. Like this is a rifle, while now quite a bit older and no longer the main battle rifle. It's you've put maybe 20,000 rounds downrange on this thing. It's very familiar to you.
Everyone we go up against next is going to be pretty trained, so make sure you stay behind cover. Make sure we go through things as slowly as we can.
Okay.
Mason
I'm very nervous.
limps up over and peeks around the busted door. just spot in to see how many guys are inside, if there's any waiting for us.
The lobby is littered with glass all over the floor. As you're looking inside, one of the elevator doors opens. The elevator is empty. The arrow indicator on the outside of the elevator dings twice. Ding, ding, indicating that it's being summoned to go down.
All right, let's go. And Mason will walk in, and as he's walking in, he's going to be trying to avoid as much glass as possible because he's still barefoot.
Yeah,
That's right.
good call. James.
Yeah, I'll follow. And then I'll get to the elevator first, and I'll hold the door.
The elevator's empty. This looks more like a service elevator than one of the normal elevators that you would have used to go up to your normal job on the upper floors where the New York Transit Authority has its offices.
All right. We'll wait in the elevator and see where it goes.
Mason makes it over there a couple times, steps on glass.
Ouch.
Probably a couple pieces he's got to pick out later.
As you walk in, you just wish you had some boots on. The floor of the elevator vibrates slightly as the elevator doors close and the elevator descends. It descends down. You can see the digital display on the elevator looking that it's going to a basement. Then it keeps going down past where the selectable floors are into sub-basements that don't list on the panel of buttons that you can press.
As we're going down, Mason's going to do the classic thing, look at the top, see if there's an access panel that we might be able to reach. And if we can, I'm going to assume we can with hoisting one of us up, pop open the panel and climb onto the top of the elevator.
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay. Make your athletics check, Mason. With some difficulty, it is a success. You pop the panel. It's a narrow fit, but since you're not wearing any clothes other than a rather breezy and now bloodied medical gown, you climb onto the top of the elevator just as the elevator stops moving. James, you're in the elevator. Mason, you're not. You're above the elevator as the doors open. James.
Going to just stand there and see what happens. Oh, I'll have my hands up, kind of. I won't have a gun in hand.
Where is the gun?
If it's got a sling, it'll just be slung.
Spencer, to you. Raj says, Spencer, listen to me. Listen to me. There's a coup happening. We need you to stop it. I know you, Spencer. I know you. You can trust me, Spencer.
Well, if you would have just came to me, I could help.
There's a shuffling sound behind you. The soldier has been moving.
As I spin and look at him. Don't come any closer.
He has what looks like a billy club in hand.
You think I'm joking. If you need me alive, I'm willing to do this.
Raj shakes her head just slightly. The soldier lowers the sap that he was holding in his hand, this billy club. Then he backs away, still keeping pressure on the wound on his neck.
With
Raj
him
says to you, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? You need help. You need medical attention. Obviously, I'm going to be the one that gives it to you.
That might be true, but it's going to be under my rules.
We don't have time for this. Things are happening. Big things are happening. The culmination of many, many months of effort. Put the knife down, Spencer, she says.
as I stand up and slowly work my way towards the door.
So as you get close to the door, she moves as if to let you go by, and then makes a desperate lunge for the hand that is holding the scalpel. She lunges at you, trying her best to wrest it from you. It's a failure. Describe my failure.
As she comes diving in, I sway from being so tired, and she goes right past me, leaving the door wide open.
As you say, the door is open. Escape is available.
As I turn my back to the door and watch, facing them, we could have worked together. We could have been different.
You're making a mistake, she says.
I think
You're
you're the
being
one that made the
manipulated.
mistake.
Spencer, you're being manipulated.
I'm too tired for this. I'm out of here.
The soldier behind he says something loud enough for you to hear. There's something going on upstairs. We've had contact. We're under attack. Spencer.
As I work my way out of the room, I try to look both ways to see if I can see a elevator or a staircase or anything.
At the far end of the hallway, as you come out into a hallway, this is a hallway that's the cinder block style on either side. You can see a service elevator door opening. As the service elevator door opens, you can see Dr. James Wright with his hands up as the elevator door opens.
James! James!
Spencer?
I need a hand. I don't know how much.
Rush down the hall.
As you reach Spencer, bullets start ricocheting off the wall. From the opposite side of the hallway, two men are peeking around the hallway and shooting. But their shots are oddly aimed. It's like they're not shooting to kill.
I'll grab
Shots are
Spencer
low.
real quick and drag him, if I have to the elevator.
As you say.
Mason will jump down as James runs out. Mason will jump down, and as the shots start coming at him, he's going to return fire to give him a little bit of cover.
They are hiding around the side of that far hallway. It's still relatively short range for this short barrel and a weapon with which you have a high degree of familiarity, but they do have cover. Go ahead and make your shooting check. The rounds
Not good. Yeah,
go wide.
Completely misses. Doesn't even come close to them. Hits the wall probably 20 feet before them.
Okay, those rounds are really just to keep their heads down, but these shooters definitely are disciplined. You can tell just the way they're stacked up around the corner. These are way better trained than the thugs that you've dealt with previously. James and Spencer make it to the elevator. Just as rounds start impacting the walls around the elevator, you can see that the two black-clad individuals are now coming out from behind cover. There were rifles trained on the elevator. An individual comes out of the room from where Spencer had escaped. It's a woman. She's wearing a surgical gown. She immediately tells the soldiers, no, we need him alive. He has something that's essential for our plans. She looks back, glaring at Spencer as the doors close.
Smashing the elevator button.
The elevator starts moving up. It moves up 3-4 floors and then suddenly stops. an emergency light starts blinking on the elevator in the panel. An automated voice comes on. Please remain calm. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Authorities have been notified. There will be assistance is forthcoming. Please remain calm. This is an automated message.
Can one of you guys figure this out? I don't want to have to climb up the elevator cable.
Well, we can climb up to the next floor.
Let me see if I have any more strength.
Wait a minute here. I think I got a Snickers. Yeah. There you go.
Can we get through this network?
I don't know. You're asking me?
No, I'm asking my own brain.
Marcus responds.
Okay.
I have a little bit of a connection here. That's odd. There's something else in this network. Yeah, I think. What do you want me to do? Marcus
I got my
sounds
phone on me,
concerned.
I
You have an access point?
I have the hardwired cable. Maybe if I hardwire us into the elevator, we can do it a little quicker and not so much power.
Yes, there's an access panel right underneath where those buttons are.
And so for the first time, I take out this cable and connect it to the side of my head.
This is the first time that Mason and James has seen this happen. As a young Spencer, his cheeks sunken in, the remnants of the Snicker bar, crumbled over his face. He's devoured that to try to get some energy back into his system. Mason, this looks like some very advanced tech that you've heard rumors of in your time in the service.
Mason is very uneasy.
As this happens, Spencer's eyes gloss over somewhat. Being hardwired into the elevator services now, you're greeted by a vista. You're in a white room. The elevator disappears. Standing in the white room is a young woman. She comes to you. She's a young Indian woman. She's too young to be Raj. She approaches.
Who are you?
I represent those that have been trying to help you.
Are you the one that gave me the message on the parking meter and the phone booth?
Not me directly, but one of us did that. There are armed individuals coming to your location right now, but they've severed the controls, my controls, to the power systems of this elevator. I can't mechanically move the elevator.
What could I do to help?
We need you to expose the corruption. We need you to show that those in authority have been using the criminal elements of this city to undermine public support for us, she says. It's at this point in your conversation that I need you to make a smarts check. Though she speaks fluently, without any hint of a machine speaking, this isn't like talking to Alexa. It's much more sophisticated than that. But your time talking to Marcus has exposed you to how AI talk. And you get the impression that you're talking to an AI. Easily as sophisticated as Marcus, perhaps more so. There is
something you can do for us. In this building, there is a lab. The lab is what the technicians use for the gate information. There was a circuit board that you had recovered. It's in that lab. If you could retrieve that, it would be evidence. Evidence that I can use, we can use, to show the corruption.
Now, is it back down to the basement?
No. It's on the floor below where your normal offices are. They've been hiding it from us.
I will do what I can. I appreciate all the help you've given me.
We wish you luck, and we'll help as we can. The room shrinks down immediately to an infinitesimally small dot of light before your senses return to the elevator. As that happens, a floor number appears in your vision is returning to normal. A floor number appears. Floor 17.
We can't leave this building, guys. We have to get to floor 17.
We gotta get out of here.
There's information that we need. A board. It's on floor 17 in the lab.
Mason.
I don't know if we can stay any longer.
I just
We're
have
not
one
exactly
question.
equipped to fight these guys.
James.
We don't know how many there are.
Well, unfortunately, now they might know that I know where it is, so they might move it. And it's important that we retrieve this item. It will
You ever shot a
show
gun before?
What item is it? Did they tell you?
it's a circuit board with information that shows the corruption. It'll free us all of the pain and suffering.
So it was the first board that we brought back for evidence. Sounds like.
I do believe it is, if my memory serves me right.
Have you ever shot a gun before?
I understand I understand how to shoot. I haven't shot much, but I know which end is the dangerous end.
Mason will pass him the MP5 and say, "Don't shoot me."
Yeah, me either, please.
And with that, I will familiarize myself with the weapon, learning the safeties, and dropping the mag to make sure that there's ammo in it.
Fully loaded.
Just to make sure that they know that I have enough knowledge. I might not be proficient as well as them, but
The elevator shutters.
We're still stuck here.
we might have to go out the top.
All right, let's do it. Mason will climb up again.
Give him a boost.
As you say.
Don't worry, I'm not looking.
Easily. Mason jumps up with some assistance. On top of the elevator, you can see about 5 feet above you are elevator doors. Like the doors
you
that the
next.
elevator would, like the floor, I should say.
I'll boost Spencer up.
As you say. All three of you are on top of the elevator.
Okay, I will climb. It's a really good roll.
Spencer, that Snickers really satisfies. Some of your energy is returned.
Still weakened, but it helps.
I will climb up and try to open the door. So I'm assuming a strength check here.
Roll strength.
Yeah.
All right.
It's hard. The your muscles strain, and then the door starts to move, giving you a little more leverage, which lets you pull the doors apart enough that you can gain access. At first, it's very difficult because you're doing this above your head, but when you get enough, the doors, as you say, open.
Okay.
There's
I'll
lights on the other side in the lobby of this floor.
I'll climb up and peer around the corners, pointing the gun, try to make sure that the coast is clear.
There's no one in this, but you can tell immediately this is one of the parking levels.
Okay, let's go, guys. Get up in here.
Okay. Falling behind.
As you say. Mason.
We need to find the stairs right away.
Off
If
to
we
the
gotta
door?
get to level 17, we got a long ways to go up.
I do agree, but I do agree keeping out of the elevators. They do have control.
There's
Yeah, stairway's
through
the
the
best
lobby, there's a glass wall and a glass door that you can see into the parking garage, which is mostly empty. Headlights careen around, and then whoever is with that vehicle, their brights flash, illuminating you as you're looking at them. You can hear even through the glass barrier, you can hear the sound of an engine revving and tires squealing.
Okay,
Run.
Mason I yell, get out of the way, run for cover, and limp my way over to a pillar or something I can hide behind.
Right there, you can see a metal door. It says stairs.
I'll go through that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Make
Same.
haste.
You enter the stairwell at the same time as there's a loud crash behind you, and a vehicle smashes in. It's a black SUV, smashes into the glass doors, through the glass windows and walls, I should say, and door, smashing into this elevator lobby. The stairwell continues up as far as you can see.
I'm gonna poke my head back out the door and check to see if there's anyone getting out of that SUV.
The lobby is full of dust and debris as the parts of the ceiling have come down. You can smell the radiator fluid from the cracked radiator of this SUV. The engine is still running. The one of the headlights is still on, which makes it very difficult to see into the SUV.
Okay, then I'll start heading up the stairs with everybody else, and I'll just keep paying attention, checking to see if anyone's coming through.
You keep
Yeah,
looking
checking
behind you.
corners.
You can't help but notice, Mason, as you were working your way up the stairwells, the bloody footprints that your bare feet are leaving behind.
Okay,
James,
it's, yeah, go ahead.
I'll just follow behind, or I'm just make haste up the stairs.
Spencer,
Mason, what size are your feet?
10 and a half.
Oh, here. Take my shoes. We don't want to be followed. You're just leaving a trail for them.
Thank you. I was gonna say we should break out into one of these floors to see if we can find some clothes or something
Yes,
for me.
Makes sense.
So I'll tie up the shoes and put them on.
immediately.
I'm sure this
better.
isn't the only stairway up either. We can probably find another stairway too.
We just keep them guessing. We got to keep moving, though.
We'll run up 4 flights and then we'll hit the floor and then we can see if we can find anything, and then find another stairway to continue going up.
Sure.
As you say, you move up another 4 floors and then break out into one of the other floors. This particular floor looks like it's a financial office of some kind, like the accounting department. There's just a large open area where there's cubicles, where people would work normally. It's empty. Other than the few plants that are there, it's still late at night. There's no one in. It looks empty as you're into this floor, this accounting department floor.
Is there like a corner office somewhere nearby?
Sure.
I'm going to assume that there's a corner office somewhere nearby, and I'm going to go kick the door in, knowing that usually if people are there in a building for long periods of time, they'll tend to have a spare set of clothing.
This
Gym
particular
clothes.
corner office does have a wood veneer arm or cabinet in the side in the corner, and then there's a small private bathroom off to the corner as well.
Okay, walk over, take a look at the wood veneer stuff. Find a set of gym clothes,
Yes, as you say.
sweatpants, sweater, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Quickly
put 'em
throw
on?
them on. Yeah,
The only issue is they're hot pink, and they're a little tight. So it's
all good. It's better than nothing.
And a foot
And-
short.
they're a little short. Looks like you're wearing capris.
Yeah.
It's all kind of Lululemon stuff.
While Mason's doing that,
It's way better than the hospital gown that you have been wearing.
most offices have a lunch or a kitchenette.
There's a vending
I-
machine off into the corner. Yes.
I don't have any money, but there is a chair.
You got a gun.
You swing the chair in, shattering the glass of the vending machine, revealing all sorts of salty and sweet treats.
Quickly write a note.
Seriously,
so sorry.
Spencer?
James,
Seriously? We're in a rush.
James, out the window of the as Mason is securing some better clothing, well, arguable, but better clothing than he had, and Spencer is wolfing down every empty sugary carb that he could find all at once. There's something that flies quickly outside the window of this floor. Your familiarity with the building would suggest you're probably on the 5th floor, which is where the accounting department was. Whatever flew by wasn't. It was, if it was a drone, it's not a drone with the normal, like the drone that you encountered earlier that tried to shoot you. This looks more like a Reaper drone as it flies by at high speed. The building shakes slightly as that drone flies by.
Guys, we gotta go. Gotta go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I would suggest probably going to the other end of the building. See what we can find on the stairway.
As
Sure.
as is the case with most office buildings, there sure enough is another stairway at the other side. As you enter that stairway, flashlights come on behind you from the stairway that you were just in. Shots come ringing through.
Okay. Everyone go up. One more floor. Mason will. I will go up one more level and point down a rifle down at the door, waiting for them to come through.
I'll be
Spencer,
behind him.
I'll move up a couple more flights and slowly open the door to see that they're not coming up from behind us from a floor above.
it looks empty. But as you're looking around, you also see that much higher speed fixed wing drone go flying by the outside of the building. The building shakes somewhat in the wash of its jet engine.
We got to keep moving.
Oh, that's James, because you were shaken at the moment. Rounds start impacting the drywall, the sheetrock right next to you as you're peeking out. I'm speaking to you, Mason. Rounds start impacting around all around you. One of the rounds comes close enough to wing you. 6 damage to your toughness.
I think that will hit. I think where you might have misheard where I am. So I go in the stairwell and then up a half
I
set
see.
and
Yes,
looking
yeah.
back
Never
at that
mind.
door.
Yeah, never mind then. Yeah, they're still in
I
that
mean,
room.
they can pop
floors.
in and start firing. That's cool too.
Yeah. So they come in hot on your heels. 2 shooters that you can tell. They fire away. You're shaken as one bullet comes close, dangerously close. Not enough to give you a wound, only shaken.
Okay.
You're up.
Sorry, remind me, what does the shaking condition do again?
It can only move, but you make a spirit check.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a spirit check. It's just a trait roll. You're no longer shaken.
All right, I shoot back.
That's a hit.
2d6 still.
Yes. Ooh, roll a 6 again. Roll a 6 again. Wow.
21.
22.
You catch a shooter. Yeah, 22. You catch a shooter just as he comes through the door into the stairwell. He slumps immediately back, blood splattering against the wall behind him. He sinks.
As soon as that happens, I'll make my way up one more half flight of stairs.
You come up another half flight of stairs above you. Spencer has just poked his head into another floor, looking around. James.
I'm actually I'm getting on my phone and calling 911 and say that, and tell them who I am from the transit authority, give them my name, and say that we're under attack. We're being assaulted.
The AI operator of 911 immediately says, "Sir, please stay on the line. We'll dispatching the police immediately." And then after that says, "Be aware. It appears as though they're bringing military assets to bear."
It's not good, guys.
I'm reluctant. If I dispatch more police, more could die.
Understood. We might be on our own, guy.
We wish you well. We're counting on you. Expose the corruption before it's too late.
And I'm actually going to...
Are you?
Yeah, later. I'm going to destroy my phone. So it can't be tracked, right? So
But that's later.
that's later, though. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm going to make sure.
Another shooter comes up into the stairwell, sprays bullets that ricochet up the stairwell, bouncing off the metal railings and the concrete walls of the building. Spencer.
James, did you just phone 911? Are they coming?
I did. No.
What?
Yeah.
They're not willing to help?
Oh, they were willing to help, but it'll probably be worse if they show up. We're
Is
kind
that
of
all they
on
said?
our own. Yeah, we're
They
kind of
said,
on our own.
Good luck.
James, your phone rings
Exactly.
again.
Good luck, and they're counting on us.
James, your phone rings.
Do I recognize the number?
It looks like it's 911 dispatch that's calling you back.
All right, I'll answer the phone.
The voice on the
Hello?
other end is the same as the one you just talked to. The voice says this. The police have just issued arrest warrants for you. I am not involved.
Oh, great.
The judicial AI has not reviewed this. This is all coming from analog sources.
Guys, are on our own. We're actually targeted for wanted.
The line goes
Well,
dead.
on that note, you give give me as much time as you can. I am going fast as I can to 17, and I'll broadcast the information to public
Take-
network.
Take my phone if you need it,
Thank you.
just
I'll
in
take
case I
it.
lock the building down, right?
The Reaper drone buzzes the building again. The whole building shakes. This was a close buzz. As it banks around, you can see that there's heavy ordnance slung at the hard points underneath the drone's wings vroom, as it comes by.
All right, well, I'm
Spencer is
gonna
gone. That
continue
means
going up the stairwell.
Spencer, you're up again, and then Sergeant Mason right after you.
I try to control my breathing as I'm running up the stairs.
You get up as make a make it. I want you to make a strength check on this because you're trying to push your body to the absolute. Make a vigor check. That would be better. Make a vigor check for me as you push your body to the absolute limit. Completely winded. The iron taste of blood in your mouth as if you've ran a long distance race at the limit of your capacity. On the 14th floor, your legs just give out. It's too much. You've made it a long ways. Your body is just so tired. Sergeant
I'm
Mason.
certain. Yeah, go.
Mason's going to, I will do the same thing. I'm going to aim a shot, waiting for them to come up the stairs. And as soon as somebody comes up the stairs, I'm going to pull the trigger and then move up another half flight.
As you say, you
And
don't
I
have to
shoot-
wait long.
Shoot and go for cover.
A trained shooter comes up, exposing himself as he slices the corner, using techniques that you've seen employed many times. It is a hit. Go ahead and roll. This time, you can see the bullet graze what looks like high weave or high density Kevlar. That although the force of the bullet was quite strong, it doesn't look like it slowed him down too much.
Okay, and run up half a flight of stairs.
Dr. James Wright. You hear the loud retorts of high-powered weaponry in a closed concrete space. It's really loud. And then Spencer has run up past you as fast as he can, eaten up those stairs as quickly as he can.
I'll have to catch up to him. So I'm gonna make haste.
You're gonna?
I'm making haste up the stairs. Before I do that, I'm gonna pass off the SMG to Mason for another gun. I have the handgun. So.
You leave your Mason. Mason's actually.
yeah.
My understanding of your location, Mason, is that you're the tail. Like you're
Yeah.
Spencer's point.
He's doing halfway.
He's doing
half at a
halfway
time.
because he's trying to buy you guys time. Spencer is run up as he's the
just
highest right now, 14th floor.
Yeah.
You're in between 14th floor and where Mason is. So Spencer is at the top. You're in the middle. You leave your SMG just propped up against the wall or just on the ground so that
Yeah, and I'll
Spencer
yell
can
to him
or
that I
Mason
left
can get
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's got to
and then I'll
reload there if he needs
continue.
it. And then
Yeah.
you continue up. And you said you were moving as quickly as possible. Make a vigor check for me. This kind of
Yeah, I'm out
physical
of shape.
exercise, not something that you've done a lot of.
No.
You're more of a cerebral type.
Stairs. I hate stairs.
You're still 2 floors beneath where Spencer is.
Okay.
Again, the soldier below you, or this combatant below you, he gets a lucky shot. That's a hit with a raise against Mason. So that's 10 plus a d6. That's 13. 13.
Toughness is 5.
Toughness is 5, so that's a hit with 2 raises. So that hit with 2 raises is going to give you a wound, unless you
soak damage.
Yeah, I'll soak it.
You make a vigor check, please.
Oh.
What? What? Oh man!
Okay, it's only a 41. You're
Wow.
not only
You're reborn.
do you not take any damage from that hit, you feel invigorated immediately, taking advantage of an exposure that the enemy has left. You get a +2 on your next shooting check.
All right.
Wow. It's a hit with 2 raises. Go ahead. Roll damage.
Hit with 2, so that's 46.
So what we'll do here, we'll do 46. That's fine. Okay, roll 2d6 again. Roll 1d6.
Wow.
Ooh,
Okay.
That's a headshot if I've ever
That's a
seen one.
headshot. He goes down. The ceramic helmet that he's wearing just explodes out the back as a perfect shot shatters it, and he falls. As he falls, he tumbles down the center of the stairwell, bouncing off the various levels as he goes down to the bottom.
Yeah, and then Mason keeps moving up the stairs.
Spencer.
Trying to catch my breath. It's I'm gonna look. Oh, I'm sure I got another chocolate bar here.
Mm-hmm.
As I eat it, I can taste that it's chocolate and blood.
Mm.
And you got to get up.
Marcus.
People are.
Marcus whispers into your ear. Mason, I'm worried. Or Spencer, I'm worried.
I know, but we have to do this. We have to get up. And the first couple stairs, you stumble. But I get back up, and I start moving. Not as quick as I was before, but each footstep feels like a triumphant success. Just keep going, 1 foot. Keep going.
You reach the 17th floor with a Herculean effort. As you reach that 17th floor, you have this feeling of triumph as you open the door to the tech lab of the Transit Authority. A schematic loads in. Marcus says, "I just got this." On the schematic, one room is highlighted.
Oh, let's move towards it. Let's go.
Dr. James Wright.
Just catching up fast as I can.
Spencer is not moving as quickly as you are. You meet him just as he's saying what he just said. It's time to go. We're here.
I'm with you.
James, you're up again.
You shocked me. I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, I don't know who you're talking to, so that's okay. I'll go through the door first. And then after watching Mason, I kind of mimic what he does, even though I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah. A clumsy, airsoft version of an actual soldier. As you walk into the room,
Weekend
sweeping
warrior,
through,
you know.
It looks empty here.
Oh, that's good.
The lab is empty. Sergeant Mason, catching up to the other two.
As Mason is running up the stairs, he's going to. I will grab a piece of trash that I find. There's some kind of, say, beer can, a couple beer cans in there or something.
Yep.
And I'm going to yell "grenade out" and whip it down the stairs.
Just in case.
And keep running just to see if I can intimidate them.
Go ahead and make intimidate, just in case.
persuasion.
Sure.
That's what I got.
You hear someone scramble below.
And as I run up the stairs, I'm going to make sure I grab the SMG that James had left there.
Ah, there it is. As you say, as you reach the 17th floor. Spencer, you're up.
As
It
I
looks clear.
beeline towards the highlighted room, disregarding tables and chairs and not taking the path that is the easiest but most direct. It's got to be here somewhere.
You come to the room that's highlighted. As you open the door, you can see this room has a mesh around it, like a Faraday cage, to block any wireless signals from entering. On the desk at the center of this room is a circuit board. That circuit board has got a number of leads that connect it to a server rack that's within the room, within this Faraday cage. On the table next to that circuit board is a small black portable hard drive. It's got some scratches on it.
I recognize both of them from the videos Marcus has showed me. Marcus, can we remove this circuit board and transmit somewhere else? Do you think it's safe?
We can't transit from here. This is a dead zone. We'll
But
have
if
to get
we
to
move,
if we can get to the roof of the building, there should be some communications array on the roofs of the building.
we can use that, or I have James' cell phone.
Marcus shouts at you, "Get down!"
As I drop prone.
Everyone make evasion rolls. 20 millimeter rounds come screaming through the window as the drone has let loose, firing into the 17th floor.
Evasion, so that'd be
Agility?
what?
It's agility minus 2. Agility minus 2.
Nice.
Spencer hits the ground. 20 millimeter shells come screaming through, ripping through the partitions and walls of the 17th floor as if they're paper. The server rack explodes as a round hits it. All of you have hit the ground in time to avoid this. There's the entire place is just destroyed as the brrrr hits the building and goes ripping right through it. Then you hear loudly now the turbine of that drone as it spools up and climbs to gain altitude after this strafing run. You recognize this, Mason. That is definitely government asset.
It's gonna come back. We might have a minute. It's gonna turn around and come back again. We have to get going as fast as we can. Get what you guys need.
Stairwell.
Mason, you're up.
Back to the stairwell.
Mason, you
Gun pointed
also
in,
did get a
waiting for someone
joker
to
on
come
this. So just so everyone knows, you may see this in the chat. You did get Delta Joker on this, so you do have a +2 on any attempts that you make this round, and everyone has received a Benny after that.
I guess I'll run over to where they are. Look to see what they're kind of grabbing at and see if I can just rip this gauge off.
Sure enough, as you get over there, you quickly can disconnect the cables that are, as Spencer's still picking himself up off the ground, you're able to disconnect the cables to this board. You recognize this board. It was one that you had pulled initially.
Okay.
Spencer, after Sergeant Mason is gone, you're up.
Mason, you got to be careful with that. We have to be able to transmit that information. I think the only way we can do that is maybe get to the roof, and we might be able to call a first aid helicopter to the roof land pad so we can get out of here as well. This might be our only chance.
James.
All right, what he said. Let's grab what we need to grab and hit the stairwell again. At least we'll be out of the view of the drone.
The good news is that there's only 4 floors from here to the roof of the building. As James hits the stairwell, climbing the final 4 floors, he's up first, followed by Spencer, then Sergeant Mason Collins, again in the rear. You can hear that
Mason's
pitch.
also going to make sure Spencer has the board.
Spencer, you're handed the board.
And hard drive.
And the hard drive, both.
Yeah, I'll make our way to the stairwell. Well, continue, go all the way to the roof. It has roof access.
All the way to the roof. The roof access is there. The door is locked.
Well, not with the gun, so shoot the lock.
As you say, you shoot. The bullets miss the lock mechanism. You punch a few holes in it, but it's still
I'm
locked.
winded. I'm winded, so it wasn't really accurate.
Okay. Spencer, you're up right behind.
As we climb the last few flight of stairs, I'm going to use James's cell phone to call in a heart attack victim at the building requiring helivac, medical helivac.
The AI on the other end of the 911, as you're calling in for medevac, says, Spencer, calling you by name, the government has just declared a no-fly zone over the Isle of Manhattan, claiming a terrorist attack at your location. I'm trying to circumvent. I'll do what I can.
You have to do it quick. We might not have much time.
We're counting on you. We're all counting on you. Then the line goes dead. Sergeant Mason.
Just heading up the stairs and keeping tabs behind us. I feel like I hear footsteps behind us still, but just nowhere close enough that I'm positive.
You get into the top. You can see James is struggling with a locked door.
I need a little help.
James, you're up.
I kick the door.
Strength check
No,
for
I'll
me,
shoot
please.
again. Oh, strength, okay. That's better.
In your frustration, you put your boot through the door. It slams open, revealing the roof. There's a large antenna a little ways away with some dishes on it.
All right, Spencer, do we actually have to like jack into the thing, or do you just have to have access to it from distance?
To get a proper feed, I would say I'd have to jack into it because I'm going to send it to anybody and everybody publicly. Get that information out there.
Spencer, you're up. After you say that.
Okay.
I quickly look to see if I can see this drone thing.
Make a notice check. You can hear it. There's no question. You can hear it. Sure enough, banking behind one of the sky rises, a deadly looking dull, well, you can just see the lights on its wingtips as it comes around. You can see it's banking around, coming around for another swipe or another attack run on you.
So if it's banking around another building, it will be out of sight for moments.
Yes.
I will sprint my way.
When will you do that?
When the drone goes behind the building to do the bank, I will move as fast as I can.
You sprint forward using the few seconds the drone doesn't have eyes on you. Mason.
Yeah, gun pointed, still waiting down the, looking down the staircase, waiting for someone to come up. Still sounds like footsteps are there. Sounds like it's getting louder.
Sure enough, you can see a flashlight, the light of a flashlight as someone's chasing up the stairs behind you. Dr. James Wright, you just got a joker.
Man. Mason, can I have that SMG back?
Of course.
All right. So I'll take that, and I'll step outside onto the roof with Spencer to cover him.
There you are. In the cool evening air, humid New York City, lights all around from the buildings, the howl of a turbine as that drone now just reappears from behind the building. Spencer at the communications array tower at the top of the building. Sergeant Mason, you see a flashlight coming up.
Okay. Yeah, not leaving my position, just holding and waiting for that enemy to come upstairs.
Spencer.
As I reach the tower, I notice that there's a panel. I quickly remove the front cover, and I pull out my data cable and connect both me and the board into the communication.
You're suddenly overwhelmed. The bandwidth available to you is way higher than it should be. You have terahertz of bandwidth at your disposal. There's a sudden burst of communication as the contents of the board and the drive are linked through you to this communications array. It's very taxing. I need you to make a spirit check. You're barely able to remain conscious as this happens. Marcus says, Spencer, he seems panicked. Spencer, and then he's cut off mid-word. It's alarming to you.
For the greater good.
As your vision narrows, you get a brief message back. We have it. We have it. It's at this point that Mason sees someone, another black armored individual, come bursting through that or up the stairwell, shooting as he goes.
Okay, yeah, I'm firing at him as soon as he comes up too.
Simultaneously, you exchange fire. His fire is an 11. Yours is also a hit. The two of you mutual.
Yeah.
The damage from his, only 6. Again, not quite enough to do more than just to shake you. Your damage, a 9, enough to shake him. Spencer.
I with fog in my eyes and my brain, I quickly disconnect and try to get my wits back to come back to myself.
As that happens, you hear that high-pitched sound of the drone as it comes screaming around towards the roof line. Sergeant Mason.
So I'd be shaken. I'd have to do a vigor check.
Yeah, so it's a spirit check to become unshaken.
Spirit check.
It's a free check. If you fail, you can always use a benefit. You will need to use a benefit.
There
Okay.
we go. And I'll shoot down at him again. Oof.
This time is a critical failure. Describe
Gun
to me what
jams.
happens. You got a jam. It's a malfunction.
Gun jams, goes click.
Click.
Immediately I panic and just look down at it.
Ooh. James Wright, you're up.
I'm keeping an eye on Spencer. If I see the drone pop into view, then I'll shoot it.
You can see
But
the
not
drone.
until
It's
then.
in the final.
Oh, is it?
It's coming in. It's pitched down towards the roof.
Okay, I'll take a shot at it.
This is a little longer range for an SMG. Go ahead and shoot. Whoa. Yeah, it's a hit with like 3 or 4 raises.
That was what is that? 46.
Yeah. $11 damage. Sparks appear. Smoke starts coming from the or fire and smoke come from the side of the drone, but not before. Just as this black-clad armored guy is coming up it looks like he's cleared his head. His short barrel rifle comes up as 2 streaks come from underneath the drone's wings. 2 missiles fired at the top of the roof. Time seems to stand still as these missiles streak in.
I'm playing an adventure card.
Please.
Mechanical malfunction.
One of the missiles on the side that was just damaged from the fire, the very lucky shot from James Wright, not much of a soldier, but it causes the missile to malfunction. It doesn't detach properly from its hard point underneath the wing. With a violent explosion, the drone explodes, disintegrates in a fireball that then crashes into the side of the rooftop. As it crashes into the side of the rooftop, the whole building shakes from the impact.
Nice. That was a good one.
And what about the other rocket?
The other rocket
Oh, yeah, that's right.
disrupted at the last moment with targeting computers no longer guiding it down, just as an unguided rocket. It comes in at accelerating as a rocket does to, Mach whatever. As it hits the roof, the entire side of that building explodes, glass shattering all around. The whole building shakes. I need everyone to make an agility check to stay on your feet, except for Spencer, who is already kneeling down.
Okay.
You get tossed, and also, okay, so James, you're able to just barely stay on your feet, as does the black-clad soldier. Sergeant Mason, you're up. The entire side of the building is on fire.
Mason gets up, clears his jammed around as I get outside the doorway to clear the stairwell.
Okay,
That'll take up all my turn.
James,
After I
you're
see Mason come
amazed
through,
at what just happened. Yeah.
yeah. After I see Mason come through, I'm gonna close the door. It's probably broken, but I'm gonna close it anyway.
Okay. It just
They're coming.
slams
Just to get
against
him,
the bent door jamb where you had kicked it with such violence. Spencer.
Well, I'm gonna pick myself up, store the hard drive and motherboard or board within my inside pocket of my, well, nice looking, used to be nice looking coat. But
You're in your
not as
tailored
much
suits.
anymore. Yes. And say, yeah, they got it. I have confirmation that they got the information. Now we just got to figure out how to get out of here.
A new voice sounds in your head. It's not Malcolm. It's that same woman that you spoke to in the room when you jacked into the elevator. The voice says, "We have help coming."
What? Where? Why are you in my head? Have you taken over?
Rest assured, the entity you called Malcolm is in good hands.
Marcus.
Marcus. The entity you
okay.
called
Well,
Marcus is in good
well,
hands.
We've been through a lot. I don't want to see any harm come to him.
It is not our way. You can hear a helicopter approaching.
This might be for us.
I hope so.
Someone starts shooting through the door. They shoot wild. The bullets go flying through, missing all of you. James.
I'm taking cover behind a vent, or something like that, just so that I don't get shot at while we're waiting for, hopefully, a pickup.
Sergeant Mason.
Run about 20 feet in front of the door, get prone, train my rifle back on it, waiting for someone to pop that door open.
Spencer.
Is this ride for us?
It is.
Are you still there?
But you must hurry. More aircraft are incoming.
James, Malcolm, Mason, we need to go. I think this ride is for us.
As he says that, a helicopter medevac that's, again, not human operated lifts up over the non-burning side of the building and then hovers just a foot or two above the roof line. You, Mason, hear another sound. It's a sound that you've only heard a couple times before. And each time you heard it, it was a horrific experience. Some high altitude heavy ordnance is incoming.
Okay, as soon as I identify that, I'm yelling, "We got to go now!"
All right, I'm going.
James, you're up. You jump into the medevac.
Yep.
A soldier bursts through that door that he just shot through, or someone in black armor bursts through. He sees the medevac, raises his rifle. Mason, you were waiting for this. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's a hit.
I'm gonna reroll damage.
Go for it.
So I'll use that. I'll leave it.
Okay. The shot is absorbed by his armor. He starts shooting at the medevac. He hits the medevac on its side, but the round just ricochets off the side of the of this this gyrocopter. Spencer.
We gotta go. And I'll move at haste towards the medevac.
you jump into the medevac. It's a little crowded with two of you here, but it is designed to carry medical personnel as well as an injured passenger. So there is enough room. Sergeant Mason, you've just fired off a quick shot.
Yeah, fire off another round.
It's another hit. Damage, please. Another D6, please. Total of 12 damage. That is going to inflict the shaken condition on this shooter.
As soon as that I finish shooting, I'm gonna get up and just start making my way. Not being able to get very far.
James Wright, you're first, and you have a joker.
I'm not going to. I'm shooting the guy as Mason's running to us.
Shooting from the open door of the medevac. Go ahead. That's a hit. It's a hit with a raise.
And that was a.
That's going to be 3d6.
Oh, 3d6?
Yes, sir.
14, so +1, right?
14. He
One
goes
more.
down. Goes
You got
down on
another
one
6.
knee.
Oh, yeah, there was another 6.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, another 6, please. Okay, so
So
it's actually
17.
17. He goes down. He's down on one knee, one arm limp as the bullet's torn through him. Mason, you reach the helicopter just as James is finishing off his burst of fire.
Yeah, run, climb in as fast as we can. So let's go.
As soon as you hit the helicopter, it immediately starts banking away.
Nice.
Spencer,
This whole building's going down.
oh, sorry, you're muted.
You're muted.
Yeah,
Yeah, me darn coughing.
I know.
It's okay.
So within my head, I'm gonna thank you. I hope I've served you well.
Your contribution is inestimable in, did I say that word right? Inestimable in its value. You will see very soon as the helicopter banks way faster than these normally under normal protocols, handling itself like a combat veteran pilot, moving way more intricate, like as it banks away, it almost falls away right away. As that happens, you see an object strike the center of the roof where this injured soldier is down on one knee. The object punctures straight through the roof, and then as the helicopter banks away at speeds that these things are not designed to normally operate under, the entire transit authority building explodes as smart ordnance has just detonated within it. The building is no more. It's like an immediate explosion of incredible magnitude. The helicopter shakes violently as the concussive blast erases every wind-facing window of the transit authority within a good city block. You've only seen ordnance like this one time before, Sergeant Mason, as this is very serious. And something has just ordered a tactical strike with heavy ordnance on a building, a government building, within the Isle of Manhattan. And with that, we'll come out.
Crazy.
Good session, guys.
Good session.
Oh, yeah, it
That was
was.
intense.
For sure.
So,
I'll be right back, though. Just a minute.
Yeah.
I didn't want to, but I'll be right back, though, okay?
So yeah, great job. I thought that it went really well, and it's different online than it is in person. But I thought it was good. I thought that Ken came right back into it with Spencer and his things and what's going on there. So yeah, lots of.
I was gonna say that when he banks down because of all the strain I had to do to transmit, I probably would have
Oh yeah, you
passed
pass out.
out
Yeah,
or yeah.
the you can't handle many G's. So as soon as that helicopter starts putting some G's on, as it would, you would lose too much blood to your brain, and you would just black out. Yeah, definitely. I would say that you'd black out. So what do you think of what happened with the story so far? Like, where do you?
Well, I know Spencer wants to dive deeper into who this AI or where, or if it's a community of AIs or a collection, or is it just one singular AI that
Right.
has enough capabilities to produce different suits of itself to be able to deal with something over here as you're dealing with something over here, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it a singular or is it multiple AIs?
Well, yeah, and I tried to give you that. I tried to give you that hint when we were playing. I kept on saying "we," you know, like that. It was so. It's
But you never know.
You never know, right?
It might describe itself as
that's
because
true.
it has so much computing power.
Like it's basically like Legion, right? Like you're a single entity, but you're actually multiple entities into one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I thought that was it was good. I enjoyed throwing the Raj back into things. And I thought your solution of, hey, if you need me alive, you know, if you threatened yourself essentially in order I thought that was brilliant. I really liked that. That was really good.
You said the right words.
You said the right words.
Perfect.
I thought, Clay, when you were describing Mason, and then you were like, you know, he's still wearing a hospital gown. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was great. As you're like walking in, there's glass all over the floor, and you were saying, well, I'm going to walk carefully, and you know, but I do cut my feet a little bit because I'm still barefoot. I thought that was great, and I loved the initiative of like
finding clothes.
Yeah, I like the finding clothes thing, and I thought it was fun to give a twist that it wasn't, you know, I thought the gym clothes idea was perfect. I'm like, of course, you know, the person in the corner office would have their gym bag there probably. But then I thought, well, wouldn't it be funny if it's like, you know, some Lululemon thing? Like it was all, it was
5'1".
Yeah. So I thought that was really good. But I did like how Mason was taking more of the soldier. Like I thought it was great how you kept Mason in the kind of trailing and slowing down the shooters and trying to keep them from catching up to James and Spencer. And I thought, James, when you were like Boston John, when you were doing things like, oh, I'm going to call 911, I thought that was just fantastic. I thought that idea,
I was just trying to get more help.
You know, I got my cell phone now. I thought that was great, like really, really good. So
I figured I'd try to get some more help, you know.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting.
It was a dead end kind of, but
what that did is it allowed me to introduce another character in the scene, like the AI that would be running the emergency call centers, and
right.
And that AI seems to know who you are. And how does that AI know who you are? But I like that idea of like, hey, you've got the phone, and you know, I thought that was great. And I also really liked, there was one moment where you said, I'm going to leave the gun in for Mason, because Mason was slowing the bad guys down. And you're like, okay, well, if he's shooting now, in the next time when we use these rules, we'll probably all need to take some time and look at things like burst fire, because if you're doing burst fire, you can actually do more damage. I mean, it's just an abstract of how many times you can do that with the magazine that you have. But if you're using like an M4 or something like that, or an MP5, there's multiple rounds in those magazines. You can, your rate of fire is higher. You can choose always to do more than one shooting attack on that. So you could, now that kind of slows things down, but
yeah, exactly. I figured, but it probably, like you said, it would slow things down.
So rather than doing multiple shooting attacks, which you certainly can do, I like the idea of burst fire. Like, so you can just fire short bursts, like a 3-round burst or something like that. But I thought that, Clay, you were playing the soldier aspect really well. I really liked that. And I thought everyone was better with the bennies this time. I think one of the highlights has to be, for me at least, and I'd be curious to see what yours are, when that drone was going to erase all of you, and I was quite prepared to kill everybody on the roof.
Yeah, I felt it.
So I thought this was great. Everyone's going to die right here. It's going to be epic. What a great way to go out. You know, like you go out in this big fireball on the roof as the drone comes around and lets 2 Hellfire missiles down and just wipes you out. But then you had that card. And of course, I don't look at your cards. I do not look at those adventure cards.
Yeah.
When you drop that adventure card of mechanical malfunction, right after Boston John, you got that fantastic hit on the drone, which I personally thought you would miss. Like the drone,
of course,
it's a high speed target. You're using a small, because the SMG you were using is using pistol caliber rounds. Like, so it's not like the chances of it downing a drone
penetrating anything is
really
not gonna
low.
happen.
Like it happens obviously, but it's really low. And this thing's moving very quickly, as I described the turbine just howling and it's coming around. But then that hit, and right after that, the adventure card mechanical malfunction to throw off that, what was definitely going to be a party kill right there, was just, that was just awesome.
The card saved us for sure.
The card, I do think the card saved you, but it was made for an interesting result, because then, you know, here the medevac comes in and, you know, I thought that was great.
I was actually waiting to have one of those guys shot and injured pretty bad, and I was going to play this one.
Oh, this is the card you had? Okay, so you had, Noble Sacrifice. Play when a nearby ally suffers damage to take a damage result yourself. Okay.
This
Like
one
sacrifice myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had this one here.
What did you have? Oh, riled up. Okay. Your hero causes +2 damage for each wound he has in this encounter. Okay, so if you had started to get
I didn't get hit at all. So yeah,
I mean, there was a chance that a couple of you die right when that when the 20mm rounds start streaming into that 17th floor. Like that's when you're like, okay, so if someone fails this, they're going to take a ton of damage when they get hit with those.
I've only been shaken.
But you've only been shaken. I think all of you.
Soaked.
You soaked.
Yeah.
You soaked.
Yeah.
That was a crazy roll when you soaked that damage. Just
I got
insane.
7 bennies. I hadn't used any.
Yeah, you should.
I didn't need to.
Well, you didn't really need to. That's true. Yeah,
the shaking kind of wore off.
Yeah,
because that happened a while ago. But
and I was in the background. I wasn't announcing this, but you would notice if you were looking at the chat window, you would see that every so often I dropped bennies on you. Especially if something really cool happened, I tried to drop a benny on there. I probably missed a couple. If I were to go back and watch this, I'd probably say I would give a benny more often, especially when Spencer, when you were under interrogation and you were trying to like cut yourself out and then you're waiting. I thought there were some cool elements there that were really cool. Again, I already mentioned it, but I thought it was great when you like hold the scalpel to your neck. Well, if you need me alive, then you gotta let me go. That was great.
Well, Ken did good job as far as being exhausted and all that kind of stuff. So it was
Ken, fantastic. Like this whole, like you can even hear it in your voice. I thought that was great.
Yeah. You're laboring to speak, which is good.
Yeah.
No,
showing it was just so much. And then when Clay is trying to put some clothes on, and you're just like, I got to get as much food as I can. I'm just absolutely out of it. That was awesome.
It's playing the character perfectly.
Yeah, I really like that. I thought that was really good. So the next time we get to play this, would you like to continue this, or do you want to kind of fast forward a little while, or what do you guys feel like?
We could fast forward, really.
Yes.
Because you never know where this helicopter's taking us.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
okay.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd pretty much assume, based on like this, there's probably an assumption we're all dead.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
there's true.
We're on the way out. So somebody doesn't know where we are. We're basically being transported to somewhere with allies. We can pretty much get on top of everything and get a better hold over everything, like handle over everything, so that we can figure out where to go next. So
this would
we can really go anywhere with it.
Yeah, I think so. And this would be probably a great place where we would use those interludes. Savage Worlds, remember, have that interlude system where you draw a card and then depending on what the card is, you can kind of describe you could choose to describe how did you overcome this obstacle to get to this. So if we fast forward a few months or something like that even, then that would give me a chance to tell you a little bit about the results of your success, if that indeed was a success, or if you're just being manipulated by some other faction. But the idea there is that instead of just having this long, big exposition dump all from me, you would have through the interludes, you could tell us what happened, in this meantime. Let's plan on that, because I'd kind of like to see what happens next with this. And
Well, my
That should be
thoughts
good.
on, if they wanted us dead or they're just using us, they would have just left us on the roof.
well, that's true. That's true.
They would have. Why would they
Yeah.
come save us?
That's true. It's somewhat altruistic of them to save them.
They've
It would
already got
wrap
the
up- They got the
information.
information already. Why would
Yeah,
they
and
bother
still
saving
saved
you?
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're
that's right.
pawns, right? That's
Yeah.
all we are.
And
We're
keep
pawns, so.
keep the like mystery alive, right?
Yes.
We could they could honestly pick us up, because what's it going to cost them, a drone that they hacked?
Yeah.
So
Well, and
keep
that's the other
us
thing.
going.
So there are some unanswered questions here. Those last opponents that you had were definitely military trained, and that's a military drone. And then that high ordnance that was dropped on you, the heavy ordnance that was dropped on you, that's definitely military as well.
Yeah,
So
and
this
I never
isn't-
checked in.
And you haven't checked in yet.
I can still check in.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe show up in person.
Yeah, that's right. Ooh, that opens up all sorts of possibilities. Okay,
And
I
over
like
the next
that.
few
That's
months,
good.
I'm going to be practicing my shooting.
Yeah, and you got to practice your shooting. Yeah, practice
Get a
using your
little better.
bennies too. That's right.
Okay, then I know. You need to give me a
Thank you
reason
so
to
much,
use them.
Ken. I hope you're feeling okay, but certainly, hopefully, it wasn't
I'm
too
gonna-
taxing. And
No, it's all good. I got to make it a doctor's appointment. I got to figure out why my legs are all swelling up.
yeah,
and
geez,
I
yeah.
can't get over this cough and not able to sleep. And
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, there's
there's
things there.
something going on.
Yeah, well, that's
that-
good.